If you are in this fight against the MAGA fascists, then I hope you may hear these words. Much of our time spent these days is dedicated to media telling us how bad things are and explaining the intricacies of what they're doing and what they may do. There is discussion of how we may fight them, and all of this is important material. I want to add to your burden, but mostly add to your power, consideration of what we will be demanding after their fall. It is important now, because it also informs back into how we need to fight them to win. If you wish to achieve a better tomorrow, then please hear these words. Most of these words are only lent to me by thinkers and actors going back to before our nation began. In this moment of peril, please allow me to introduce myself and to ask you to join me on a journey and a purpose of improving a blueprint for restoring freedom and justice for all. I'm presenting a wiki with a companion blog full of specific guidance and proposals for, firstly, winning back our country from fascists, and secondly, after we have thrown them down, for securing our liberty and a world of justice for the future. That is projectliberty2029.com and .info. I believe we cannot wait until after the war on our freedom to declare the principles for which we stand. In fact, we may not succeed in throwing off the yoke of their tyranny without first declaring our vision. Because once we coalesce around what we want, not just what we do not want, we will have a map. It can form a North Star, a beacon, and a map to help guide us in choosing our champions and our actions, and for overwhelming the MAGA fascist project with mass opposition. For they are wily and cunning, and they have no shame. After their defeat, they will attempt every trick to obfuscate and hide and come back to win again another day. We need to know where we are headed so that we can plan what we need to keep and what we need to destroy. For it is of little advantage to us to regain a kingdom if we have just burned the bridge to a promised land. I am Vector Hastings, author of Project Liberty 2029, and I'm sharing my name not because it really matters, because on the scale of history, my name and myself, along with almost all of us, we're going to be lost to history soon enough. But together, you and I hope we may come together to make a capital W kind of we, as in we the people. Because we the people do have a chance to endure across history. We have a chance in our collective works not to be lost. But in order to endure, we must now create the right kind of change. A change now is inevitable, because what is happening around us now cannot continue. And that which cannot continue will not. In order to be the authors of change, and not its victims, you and I, that big capital we must demand it, and not just generic change. We need to say exactly what we mean. Because if we do not exactly articulate our demands in a form that can become exact laws and exact changes to the Presidency, the Supreme Court itself, then our politicians will ask again for our votes. They will point to some complicated plan. They will have a slogan like Restore America, Renewal, something else that polls well. And without a specific ask by we the people, they will almost without a doubt deliver thousands of pages and millions of words of legislation that we the people will have no chance of understanding. And they may even believe that they know better and that they have our best interests at heart in the compromises hidden within that pile of law. But it will still contain that buried betrayal waiting to fail in its promise. Without words that we can all hope to comprehend, we cannot attain a durable reform of government into an instrument that protects our liberties through justice for all. And our hopes will be dashed. Some of you who are still listening to my words may be resisting the idea that we should entertain such high hopes. On many days I also feel that pain, the pain that comes from feeling that hope itself is a torture because we seem to always find it betrayed. But it is not our place to be eternal. We will need to accept that piece of today that we can build, because we cannot live long enough to stand at the end of history and see how she concluded. And yet, we stand here at a fulcrum of history. And at this turning point, we must do that which is given to us. For what we succeed or fail at will determine a course change toward a concentrated, corrupting power and ruin, or toward a better and more egalitarian and diverse future. What happens now will be written about for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Will they write that we gave up? Will they write that we were the bad guys because we opposed fascism? If that is what they will write, then we will have lost. Or will they write that we rose to the occasion? Will the children of tomorrow be learning in a school where they are taught not to be afraid? Will they be taught that might does not make right, that it must only be used to make good on what is right? Will they be taught that they must be always vigilant against those who would bring about tyranny and fascism? If that is what they are taught, then we will have won. And it is not just up to you or to me, it is up to us together, the togetherness that makes we the people. For we the people must fight to bring down this tyranny and build up a better America. And so you face a choice to take your moment of action, this moment of history, and give up, or you can join with the millions like I do to say, no, I will not go gentle into that good night. There's a word for us, we are patriots. When we make the Pledge of Allegiance, we understand the words, with liberty and justice for all, to mean what it says. Another phrase for us is the grassroots. For what are the grassroots but the living foundations and the underpinnings of life? We may also be Democrats, independents, unrepublicans, but together somehow through the many layers of who we are, I am of the conviction that we must coalesce and come together on legal language for reforming our laws and our Constitution, where that language is simple enough for regular people, for we the people, to understand. And so I make my ask for you to support me in putting forth a version of that language. I have an initial set of proposals on the Wiki. There's much more coming. This is from work I have done over the past 8 years. The material comes from 2 previously published book-length works, but I believe it needs to be on a wiki because we need to have them where people can amend them. The work I've done is to create them, and the work I'm doing now is to update and transfer them to the wiki. It's all very time-consuming. I would be grateful for any support, just liking, subscribing, sharing, engaging with this post, wherever you found it. That helps to spread this invitation. A paid subscription on Substack or Patreon would be an immense help. And even greater help, that doesn't cost, but takes time, would be to not just read the words on our wiki, but to buckle down and volunteer your expertise. That may mean making amendments to what's there. It may mean spreading them amongst your colleagues. The ultimate help will come from those who are in office or who seek office, federal or state, but primarily federal representatives and senators. To you, I make the final ask. Please adopt these proposals or fix them with us and then adopt them. Please communicate the strategies we need under the strategies of winning that are on Wiki. Please lend us your expertise on how to adapt and improve these strategies. For I believe that we have a better than even odds, much better than even, of preserving through the fog of war and fire that bears down upon us like the cannons of the English upon the fields of the Revolution 250 years ago. I believe that our struggle this time will be mostly peaceful. I believe it will be more honest. Because today we know, you know, and I know, that we the people really is meant to mean all of us. Not just the rich, not just the landed, not just the whites, not just the men, all of us, who are born with inalienable rights to dignity and justice for all. And in the hopes of that better tomorrow, I ask you for your support, for your participation, and for you not to lose hope, and for you to keep faith with the proposition that our nation, founded on liberty and justice for all, shall not perish from this earth. Amen, America.